Hi, in this tutorial I wanted to go over how to update a map. And basically what I'm talking about here is updating the map or updating a property within the map. Now there are quite a few overloaded methods for updates. In other words, there's update methods, but they do different things and act differently based on what properties you pass them. This can get a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a couple of these videos, and I might go back and delete a couple as I get better at explaining what it is that they do. So for first step, bear with me. Let's see if we can have a little bit of fun working on this. I have a basic map. It's got first name, surname, and age. And what I want to do is I just want to show you through some of the updates. Just bear with me while I scroll through some of my tests. Now, one of the first ones I want to show you is the ability to pass in a function. Now, I'm not going to go through the ES16 stuff. I'm just assuming that you know this already, so sorry if you don't. But we're able to pass in a function to the update routine. And in here, we can pass in an item. Now, notice in this scenario, item will be the instance of my map. It will be the same instance as well, not a new copy or a new clone. Here, I'm getting the first name and the surname and putting that into a property called full name. And then what I'm going to do here is run set against the item. Now remember, item is actually my map. So what I am doing is I'm getting that map rather. I'm creating a new property called full name, and I'm putting in the value that I had from items get first name, get surname. So basically a new string with Gary Taylor in it. And because set, we're talking about immutable stuff here, so therefore it's going to create a new object. So here's the new object, and I'm going to return that. So now we'll find that my map has this new property called full name. So if you're anything like me, you're already going to be quite confused. So I just want to go through this a little bit further. We have a map which has got first name, surname, and age, and we run a function called update, and we pass in a function which will then be called, and the map will be injected into that function. We run the body of the function, which can do whatever we want, but in this scenario, I'm getting the first name and surname to make the full name, and then I'm setting a property called full name, and that returns a new map, which we then return. That is then inserted into that variable. So now this my map updated has a value, a key called full name with Gary Taylor in it. Now, this seems like a lot of work, but you could imagine that this function could be doing something like calling an API or reading the file system or doing something intensive that you need to do against your maps. And this allows you to separate this work out and add these properties when you need to. Could be good for reporting or for doing some heavy duty work. Now, let's say, for instance, we actually just want to update one of the keys, but we still need to do a bit of work. In this scenario, we know what the key is, so surname, but what we want to do is we want to add the word Robinson to the end of it. So we run the update, but this is an overloaded method. We have the key that we want to update, and then a function that we run. An item will actually be the value of surname. So in this scenario, item would be Taylor. And this is going to take Taylor and append Robinson to it. So I get a double-barreled name, posh. And that returns that string. But that's actually going to return a new map. So the new map is going to go into that variable. And as we can see down at the bottom, surname is now equal to Taylor Robinson. So Taylor Robinson. This has allowed us a really nice shortcut. You could imagine that we could have potentially done the full name, but actually we only have access to surname, because what we've done is this update is taking this key, it's taking the value that's in that key and passing it to our function. So we couldn't have done the full name because at this scenario we wouldn't have access to the first name, which is why up in this example we actually pass in the full object, the full map into our variable. So there's no parameter there, which is the key. And what we do is we insert the key at this point. Now this video is going on for 6 minutes, so it's already too long. What I'm going to do is start cleaning this up. I want to do a few more videos on updates and go into detail about them and clean up how to explain and how to go through this. So this is my first round of explaining how to deal with updates within an immutable map, and stay tuned and something a little less chaotic will be coming your way.